I'll be right back. I'm going to get you the pasta. 1 sec.
I mean, I do think you have to say, like, well, that's the man I married. And it's my job to submit to him. Talk to us, Ben. And for some reason, I had this wonderful epiphany. Is that what it's called? Yesterday, when Grace was reading her letter, and I was like, you know, I had a smoke break, and I was like, oh, it's weird to say, but like, I was like an observer. I was like, oh, this is something she needs to do, and she can easily do, and I can't any longer encourage her to do it or anything or support her not doing it. It's so easy and so necessary, but I get that she doesn't get it. But I want out of that. Why can't I do this? I don't know. But I have sympathy. But it's like it's don't shut everything down and say, okay, what's going on here? I can't do it anymore. I've been fried, man. Fried. I feel like when I was younger, you guys will be surprised, those of you who aren't older. We were in biology class. It was like AP biology, so it was like the smarter kids, but like they literally had a frog with just a brain stem, like they cut the head off of it or something, and you stimulate. I don't know if it was in class or what, but it was like, I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly true, but something like that. Anyways, maybe we watch a video about or a movie but I feel like that frog, like all that's left is this kind of brain stem that's just gotten pulled down to just this nerve that just doesn't any longer like it no longer has sensitivity. It's like this has been 23 years, and I have total sympathy with Grace for, you know, taking on what her mother like dumped in her lap and taking it and whatever. But I just realized, like, I can't help someone in this state. Grace asked me today, like, should I go call these people? And like my brain, whatever it is, that thing in your brain, it's like there's no dopamine, there's no hits. It just makes me want to die to hear questions like that. So I need to restore something. I'm not doing anyone any favors by like participating in this. I think I've done a fantastic job of being willing to be like, to take it to that level, but it's like, oh,
Here you go.
Thank you. Lovely. Thank you very much. But we clap.
Bro, why'd you take yourself off stage? Anyways, it's not important. What I want to say is this is a really interesting discussion because I think that this is a very radical view of marriage, at least to the average person. And I think it's really freeing that it just is the nature of the relationship. And if you don't like it, there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody has to get married. But it's really important to understand, like, this is what it is. It's like a job. Like, it's not, it's like a job with obligations.
For a woman, you're saying?
I mean, for both sides, but I'm saying,
I don't think it's essentially different, but like there was a dynamic that's different. of this submission, like you're the head. But the woman is really like the heart, I think. So it's like you don't want a conflict between your brain and your heart.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, the idea that this is what people understand marriage to be is just like, I just think it's absolutely foreign, even to me. And to be honest, it doesn't sound that good to me. To just be like completely and utterly supportive, and you're not in charge in the sense of making decisions, and like
you mean a wife?
Yeah, as a wife, yes.
Well, see, I think the alternative, having a less nuanced view of these things, and this I think is the interesting part. You could say, okay, Cooley, I see what you're saying. You got to keep these bitches in check, right? You got to make sure that she's, following your orders.
Yeah.
Right? But do you really want to take that on? Because then you're going to say, concomitantly, if she fucks up, you fucked up. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. You could put it in terms of responsibility.
I understand a lot of men saying, if your wife is hoeing on you, that like very well could be that you fucked up. Okay, but I would not say 100%.
Yeah.
These women, especially in today's climate,
these hoes,
they can hoe. And as a man, I think you should have solidarity with other men saying like, well, I'm not gonna. You know what I'm saying? You fuck yourself if you don't have an understanding of like how much freedom and partnership is involved here.
Exactly.
Because you can't walk away. And I've been in that situation. I have been in this situation. I had a resolution that there was no such partnership, but when it comes to you guys, it still is equal, theoretically.
Yes.
But I've been iced out, but
this is the key. It's equal if you want to see it this way in terms of responsibility. You have an equal responsibility to lead as she does to follow. And if she fucks up on her end, it's not your fault. You can make the argument that it's easier
to lead than to follow. I don't think that's true.
I think they both have pros and cons.
Brutal. Yeah.
Tough on both sides. It's not like the guy gets out of something.
No, but I think that's the temptation here is to say like, well, if I could just order a bitch around, I think that would solve a lot of problems.
Right.
I do not think so.
Yeah, but wouldn't you say that's true? It's equal responsibility. She is just as responsible. And she can mess up. And this is the problem with his thing is that if marriage is not an equal partnership, then in his from his point of view, the man is responsible for everything, including the wife's sin.
Right.
Which is an incredible burden for the man. It's basically turning the man into God.
The problem in this scenario, here you can get him on this one, right? If you lure him into saying like, okay, you believe this? You can get him on this one. So how isn't it true that if a woman hoes, that it's not that big, that's not as much of a big deal as if the man cheats?
Right.
If you treat her like she's a child.
Right, and you can use the parent-child relationship. If your kid messes up, it's not that big of a deal. If the parent messes up, it's a way bigger deal. So by your logic, if the man cheats, you muted yourself. If the man cheats, it should be a big deal. If the woman cheats, it shouldn't be a very big deal, or even close to as big of a deal.
He might say, well, you created the environment in which you could do that. But like, no, God created the environment. It's called freedom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And granted, like something like cheating rarely is only one person doing it. But in another very real sense, it is one person doing it. It is like only one person doing it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's really only one person to blame.
At the end of the day, yeah. Right. That doesn't make any sense.
That you did it.
Yeah. The motivations are different, is what he'll say. Murder in the first versus murder in the third.
Yeah. I mean, he'll make, like, I agree with the argument that, like, say, like, a guy who's with his buddies having a good time, bachelor party, gets a, let's say, just to make really silly, like a hand job from a prostitute. Mm-hmm. As opposed to a woman who's spending a lot of time emotionally with a co-worker, a colleague, or a boss. Mm-hmm. And maybe even just that. Those are comparable. Even though she's not cheating on him.
Yeah, they're comparable, yeah.
But like, so it's apples and oranges. Male and female cheating is apples and oranges.
It is a different action, generally speaking.
That's just because men and women are different.
But it's the same.
It's essentially different.
But it holds the same moral weight if you think it's an equal partnership. If you don't think it's an equal partnership, if you think the man is superior, then him making a mistake is way morally worse than the woman making the mistake.
It used to be, and it still is to some degree. If your kids fuck up, the father is held responsible. Parents are held responsible. The father's held responsible, right? So if your kid's skipping school, you can be taken charged.
Yes, right.
I don't think that's true in marriage. The other spouse may have something to do with it, but may not, right?
Well, I mean,
and you can have kids that are just bad.
I mean, before women became legal persons within marriage as well as outside of it, like when the coverture laws were dropped or whatever, the woman's debt became the man's debt. Like, but that's still true today. I mean, you share a debt if you're married legally, right?
No. I don't know how it works.
Vogue, let me respond to this. Most people would rather be the one in power in a relationship. It's not in power. That's the wrong way to see it. It's one role versus the other. And lots of people, leading does not necessarily mean being in power, because the wife, if she's following, she has just as much power. If he leads and she does not follow, she has just as much power to fuck his life up as if he leads incorrectly and fucks her life up. So they have the same amount of power. It's just expressed differently. They do. They really do.
I'm trying to understand this comment. Most people would rather be the one in power in a relationship. That's assuming that there's power. Yeah. Well, what you're trying to make the point is, if a Christian couple agrees that, right, it doesn't have to do with power.
It's not power.
You're not handing the man power. You're just distributing a function differently.
Right.
Power imbalance makes it inherently unequal. It's not a power imbalance. It's a functionality imbalance, right? Or difference.
Functionality difference, yeah. But if you want to talk about power, I really do think that's true. Like, if he says we're moving and she resists and drags her feet and everything else, she has just as much power over him to ruin their life together as he does towards her.
Grace, maybe this is like so incredibly obvious that it's not even like we're just missing the point here. So if you remember the movie Casino Royale?
No.
I think it was called Casino Royale. Robert De Niro and Sharon Stone.
Oh, that's just called Casino. Yeah, I remember that.
Casino. Mm-hmm. Casino. Okay, so this guy is like control freak. He's all about, right? But the theme of the movie is these hoes out here.
Yeah.
But she's not seen as bad.
Right.
It's just what it is. And I do think they loved each other, respected each other, but like, he was fucked.
You got to do your De Niro. You even have the little.
What De Niro? I don't have a De Niro.
Well, you got to work on one. You kind of look like him, and you've got the little beauty.
You could say you should develop a De Niro, but like, you got to do your De Niro, bro. Shut the fuck up! I don't have a De Niro.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. No, Damius. Just because the husband would have final decision doesn't mean the wife. Yeah. Like. Yeah. There. It doesn't mean the wife can't have any input on the decision.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't want to do it. Go ahead. Yeah.
I want more blueberries in this muffin. It's not enough blueberries.
Number of blueberries in every muffin. I don't know how to do it.
No,
okay, so listen. Wait,
let me make this point. People equate making a decision with having power. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Making a decision is just a function. But having power is different than that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say that, but they are different things.
Well, let's say let's say I'm a man, like I'm a really good coach. You're a top-notch tennis player.
Yeah.
You're the white Serena.
Sure.
All right, but I'm a really good coach. And I say to you, we're going to skip this tournament and we're going to go to some like high mountain elevation because you need to work on your lung capacity.
Sure.
Right? Okay. Do I have the power in our relationship?
No, you are just providing a function of being the one who's making the decisions.
If I make the decision and I said to you, like when we did this, like, you got to listen to me. You know how to do that? That's a trope in like boxing. And the guy's like, it's like the old coach and the boxer's like, it's on Seinfeld too, like, it's like, would you want to be my coach? And he's like, I'm done with that.
Yeah, right.
But if we're going to do this, you're going to do it my way.
Yeah. Right.
You can say that, but that's not a power grab. It's just saying, this is how we're going to do this. You need me to make decisions for you. All right. But you could very easily see the person making the decision having relatively little power. If you're a superstar, you could a tennis superstar, depending on how high, you know what I mean? You could take you could dump him in a second and go, I'll take a coach, right? I could take my pick. I can have a much nicer coach if I want, right? And all he could say is, yeah, you're going to fuck it up, right? You need that kind of, but he doesn't have no power.
Vogue, I would agree with you. Every input the woman can have can be overruled by the man. That's true. But every decision the man makes can be subterfuged by the woman. That's equally true. There's equal power there. The decision making, who cares if somebody makes a decision if nobody helps him follow through on it?
All right, but Grace, good point. All right, but I wanted to use casino as an example, but also, we got the other one. Oh, Godfather. All right.
Yeah.
It's a mafia guy, violent guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the wife aborts his kid.
Yeah.
And goes, what you going to do about it? And he's fucked because he's like, well, my code is like my kids need a mom. I can't like Fredo you.
Right.
You're going to have a cushy life.
Mm-hmm. Right. Vogue says, not if she is submitting to him. What are you saying? Yes, but here's the point. If he is leading in a good way and she is submitting in a good way, then they have equal power. They have equal power. If she refuses to submit to him, she's using her power over him.
This thing of a benign dictator, I'm not sure exactly if I'm picking up on what South SouthToWest is putting down. But there is a funny way in which, you know how they have these totalitarian dictatorships that are called the People's Republic of whatever?
Yeah. Yeah.
There is a way in which a totalitarian ruler must have the support of the masses.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no such thing as a guy who's just like, I took all the power. I have no support from anyone. And I'm just fucking you, all of you up the ass with stupid decisions that are, you know what I mean? Doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
A populist dictator is what they're doing is they're creating this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They're not saying like, oh, I'm just taking there's no power. They're just taking it from, you know what I'm saying? It's like Charlie Kirk apparently was going to say like, fuck the donors. I need to appeal to my base. Didn't work out for him for whatever reason. And I'm not making an implication, but his idea was, right, at least according to Candace Owens, I'm pivoting from donor support to
mass-based support.
Grassroots support.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take the hit. Oh, no pun intended.
No pun intended.
But, you know, it's not. I mean, the scariest position. People say like, "Oh, I prefer to be the ruler." Oh, have you want to look at the Roman Empire? How it was to be a ruler? It's like 90% death rate, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You read the English history. You want to be a ruler?
Han says, what if the man makes stupid decisions like Goon with Hormaxer and overrules the woman, Lav, who would make the right decision? What should Lav have done in that situation? She should support him unconditionally. She should give her input, and then when he makes a decision...
You're assuming these people are married.
I'm assuming they're married. They're not married, but just assuming if they were married, marriage is unconditional support and submission to your husband. That's just what it is. If you want to do something else, do something else, but that's what marriage is.
Well, I mean, it has to do with how she said. I respectfully disagree. I'm saying that she's wrong too, or no?
I think she's wrong too. Yeah, I mean, she can say that, but once he makes his decision, she should say, "Okay, I totally."
She did say that. She did say that.
Okay, then. Like that's it. She gives her input when he says, "Like, okay, that's it." Then it's like, okay,
it's not so much
made a great
support
decision.
the position. Like, I agree, you made the right decision, but I'm 100% like trying to win in this field now. You see what I'm saying? It's not even a matter of saying like, I agree with you, because the whole point is, I didn't ask you. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. You don't have to agree with me. You just have to get on board, right? It's
yeah.
irrelevant whether you agree with me.
Yeah. Right. I don't think it's not about compromise, Mackenzie. It's not about compromise. Well, I mean, I don't think she should be like, yes, I support you in whatever you do, like a robot. That's like not really.
No. In other words, like, so you have this with councils, right? Councils in the church. The church does want a vigorous debate, both sides. Mm-hmm. They want to have, otherwise they wouldn't need to define it if there wasn't like arguments. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this in the Book of Acts. Do we have to snip dudes or not?
Mm-hmm.
People arguing both sides. Happy to have you arguing.
Yeah.
When the church makes its decision, the people on the side that lost don't have to say, oh, I agree. They can just say, it is what it is. The Holy Spirit actually made that decision. So we're just like on team no circumcision.
Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying.
If I say like, oh, I have to go around and say like, I'm sorry for making it. No, it's like, shut up. It's changed now. How? Why? So you may never know why.
Right.
Your point, like John Henry Newman, who's a saint, he was opposed to the definition of infallibility at the First Vatican Council. Not because he disagreed with it, but he just thought it was imprudent because I think he was hoping that like the church could move towards unity, especially with the Anglican orders that he thought like it's closer. This is going to jeopardize it. So, but he didn't at the end, like when it was defined, he didn't go like, I was wrong, they were right, because he was making a prudential argument. He's just saying, well, the Holy Spirit saw fit through the fathers of the church to do this. So now let's I'm all about understanding how that is a win.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. I do see what you're saying.
That's the problem with these Vatican II people saying like, well, that might not have been prudent. It's like, no. You require submission of the intellect and the will. So you can't go, well, I don't know. You can't as a Catholic. Just dip out of being a Catholic. It's better for your soul than sitting there on the internet going like, well, I think the church made a mistake. The Holy Spirit might have made a mistake in an ecumenical council. Right.
Not a good idea. The answer to this question is nothing, Hans. Nothing except that he does not want to sin.
Well, no, because like a relationship in which one person is abusing the other, there is no such thing as a selfish decision that benefits him. There is no such thing. In a partnership?
True, but I'm saying what would
selfish means inordinately concerned with yourself, which means it's disordered.
Mm-hmm.
So it's stupid. It's irrational.
Well, yeah, but what would prevent him from being stupid and irrational? Nothing really.
No, except at the point where it's like obviously the woman has to appeal to like some sort of defined thing. Yeah.
Yeah, to get a separation or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But a woman has just the same standing in like a tribunal as a man does.
Mm-hmm.
No difference.
Right.
Even in the Middle Ages, I don't think there's any difference.
So I just think it's interesting.
But now, Grace, no, wait. This is very important. Now we need to contrast that with parents and children.
Okay.
You need to find a difference because a lot of this stuff would be true of parents and children. You'd say like, oh, as a child, you may disagree with your parents, but you should listen to them. That's their role.
Okay. First obvious point.
And whether you agree with them or not, you should submit and be kind of I don't know about team player here. See, I don't think you have to, as a child, agree.
Okay,
unless
but
you're a daughter and it's your daddy, and then you better fucking agree.
But here, the basic difference.
A young man does not have to agree with his father.
There's two basic differences, obviously. The first difference is that being a child of two parents is an involuntary role.
True, but you've been
being
put there by
married
God,
is,
and you do have responsibilities as a child.
I understand that, but it is essentially different to choose your partner versus
Daddy's stressed out.
versus to be a child. That's totally different.
And I am stressed out. Oh man, am I stressed out? Grace, I need a whole town of whores or something. I need to beat the shit out of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I am wound up.
Yeah.
I guess it's because I was so tightly wound yesterday, and then I realized like this is crazy, and I think I'm like resentful. You know what I mean? I just think I'm resentful of having been put in that position.
Understandable, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just so angry at nothing. But anyways, go ahead. I just want to. I don't know what it is. I just want to hurt like something innocent. I just want to cause pain to others.
Well, we could do some Discord debating if you want, just to fuck around a little bit.
Yeah, I guess I feel like I got my, you know what I mean? Like I feel like a divorced person could feel if they're freed from something, like that sucked and I want to,
Yeah, just fuck it up. Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, what was I going to say? I actually lost what I was saying.
Children. We were talking about children and parents. You're saying it's involuntary? Sure. This actually, I think if you can get him here, because I think he will say the relationship of a husband and a wife is that of a dad and an adult daughter who he can have sex with, which you can relate to.
Wait, what is the difference?
Genetic argument. I don't know.
Okay.
That's Joseph Fritzl.
Okay. Okay. So,
you know what I'm saying? I think he will buy that analogy. I think he'll buy that analogy, and then you can get him on this and say, okay, it may be different, but okay, but so like a dad and an adult daughter, the sexual difference, I don't think he's going to see much of a fundamental difference otherwise.
Well, it being voluntary and you having sex with that person.
But let's start with like
hugely huge difference. Okay, so, well, I mean, I don't know what to say. A child is in an involuntary position. A wife is in a voluntary position.
Well, what it says, wives submit to your husbands. I'm not sure if it says children submit to your parents, but like,
this says honor your parents.
Submit. I think it means obey. Like, but in a more like just will. Don't rebel. Do what they say. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. But you don't have to agree with them.
You don't have to, like shape yourself. Right? You can just say, I disagree with you as a kid. Yeah. But I'll do it. Yeah. It's much easier to be a child than to be a spouse or a wife, I guess you could say. But it's on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
A woman can drag her feet and be submissive, and it's brutal.
Well, that would be being obedient. Not like obedient in the strictest sense.
A child can drag their feet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Let's see. So a child is in an involuntary position. A child is not obviously.
A slave doesn't, it does say slaves or whatever. You know, I think it would be like worker, listen to your boss. Okay. He does use that analogy too. But a worker can drag their feet. A wife or a wife cannot drag her feet.
Well, yes, correct. And there's also the difference that you will never
drag her feet. I mean, she can, but it's a fundamental problem. If a worker drags his feet, it's not really a fundamental problem. If a child drags his feet, it's not a fundamental problem. That's all a parent can demand of the child. But then the parent can say, you're dragging your fucking feet. But you can't, as a spouse, do that. As a husband, you can't do that to a wife. I don't think you can say you're dragging your fucking feet.
Okay, but
it is what it is. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And we're partners. I have to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
You will be held accountable for that. I won't be held accountable for that. You know it. You know what I mean? If you're, you should know it or find out. Not from me, but from your experience. Right? It's fundamentally different. Whereas the kid can go, all right, I'm dragging my feet. And then you can go, okay, you're going to get this much punishment. And the kid can go, all right, I'll take the punishment. And the kid could be right. And, the dad could say, like, yeah, that's not going to, that's not going to be good in life. You'll see. And he'll go, okay, we'll see. And he could see that he's actually a baller and his dad is wrong. A wife can't do that. Right?
Yes.
That's fundamentally different.
Yes. Damius, thank you for gifting us sub. Damius gifted a sub to GeoNeob888, who his last chat, I'm not sure if he'll be back, was, I'm out. Too dark. I just wanted something funny to listen to while filling out forms. I draw the line at incest. Goodbye. And then Sofa Canary responded to that by saying, lightweight. There's another crucial difference is that marriage is lifelong.
Fill out your transgender transition forms. Bottom surgery. Enjoy. I fully
Is it
consent.
MTF or F to M? Is that it's a lifelong relationship, right? So a parent-child relationship, yes, you will always have that relationship, but you do not have to live with them. Like it's not a lifelong committed bond in that way.
Yeah.
And also a boss-employee relationship is not lifelong. Nope. The only other relationship that's lifelong is slavery. And this is a point I was making to you when we were talking about this weeks ago. Mm-hmm. The only other relationship between two people where you can't get out of it. Okay, I understand that people get divorced all the time, but like in theory,
well, you get out of slavery.
Right, but I'm just saying like in theory, the practices of these two relationships are lifelong. Slavery
I know what your point is.
And marriage. Those are the only two relationships where you can't get out of it. If you're the employee, you can quit or you can get fired. If you're a kid, you can run away from home. You can eventually, when you grow up, you move out. It's not lifelong. Any of these other things, teachers and coaches, you can get out of it. The only two relationships that
can I say something interesting related to slavery? Because we tend to think of slavery as like, okay, I, the white man, have all the power. Oh, I identify as a black man.
Yeah.
Anyone who's been in a position of authority knows. Like, I was a teacher, and the school I taught at, they give the teachers a fair amount of authority. Mm-hmm. And they prided themselves on backing the teachers until they decided not to do that. But you do need to win the kids over or you're fucked. Like if you're just relying on the fact that you have power, you're going to have a hell of a time if the kids don't in some ways respect you beyond just raw power. You can't do it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could do it, but it's just going to be brutal. They're going to torture you if you're only using power against them. Like, because that's a relationship over time. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to be an asshole at the DMV and just go, sorry. Right? But like over time, any relationship over time, you've got to find a way to make a deal with them that they can live with. Yeah, they will torture you if you're just saying like, I have power over you. I mean, I was teaching 17-year-old boys like that in the 90s when they still had souls to some degree. Mm-hmm. They were like, I'm down for like fucking with you. And we can do things, you know, you can do things like make little noises like, and then no one, you say who said that, no one gives it up. And then you can do the thing of saying like, okay, well then you're all coming after school. That's when it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because then some parents are going to go like, he didn't do anything, you know? And it is tough to say like, okay, he couldn't go to the baseball game because you did a group punishment. That's what's going on in Gaza right now.
Yeah.
Group punishments are tricky. But, you know, you learn tricks. I never really learned the tricks. I just found it totally exhausting. But
so are you saying that like even within slavery, there has to be some mutuality?
People who believe, like fundamentally, people who believe that being in power is great are crazy. Crazy.
Because really, if you want to say in power, the people who you are over have a ton of power against you as well.
Yeah, I mean, you could say at certain points, if those people have been brutally put down, like, I don't know, it's like easier to be the one in power than the one who's, but anyways, this goes into a whole thing. There was this movement called liberation theology that said like, the oppressors are just as much victims of this relationship as the oppressed. And that is kind of true, you know?
That's interesting.
people who fantasize about being in power should try being in power. It's not what it's cracked up to be. You know?
Yeah.
But anyways, I do want to focus again on the, like, okay, so you're saying the children or the boss to the worker, the parents to the children is just totally fundamentally different than the husband to the wife. Though in both cases you have this kind of way in which there's a headship.
Oh, wait. And I really quickly wanted to say, somebody else said power implies the ability to coerce or punish. In that way, the husband does not have power over the woman.
No, right.
What's he gonna, he can't force her to do stuff.
Well, he can punish her.
I mean, he can punish her.
Let's say in a different society, a husband could punish her, but like we all know that women are much better at punishment than men.
Yeah, and
like
also
subtle, months-long punishment. That's what women are like absolute geniuses at.
Yeah, that woman, Mary Hildebrand or something. What was her name? Alice von Hildebrand.
Yeah. She
said that when the fall happened, men and women used to be perfectly harmonious, and then there was a split. And men took power over women physically because they were stronger, when in the past that was just a perfectly harmonious relationship and they worked together. The men took physical power, so they were tempted to beat women, to rape women, etc. The women, however, were not. It's an equal fall because the women took the power of the tongue.
Cunning.
The tongue. And I do think, once again, that is an equal fall on both sides. Because women can like just crush a person.
Yeah, and I would argue that all those coverture laws and all that kind of stuff, and the way in which the society left men in charge of their families and kind of didn't intervene except in extreme cases. And if there was a divorce, gave the kids to the father. Like, I think that was barely a way of trying to like even it out.
Yeah.
You know, and as soon as you tip the scales a little bit, if the utter destruction of society, and until women decide they don't want to do this anymore, like, we're all fucked, but most especially women. That's the irony. Well, we can't take it back. Men can't take it back until they convince women that they want to give it back. And I think we're getting closer to that point. But look at this. I have to. These people.
So just a thought. Why don't we switch to his?
Yeah, you were gonna. Yeah.
His. Let's hear his take. I know. I was looking for the specific video. Okay, men and women are equal. Okay, Cooley destroys Ratchet Girl that thinks men and women are equal. This is not the one we were watching. Do 50-50 relationships work? Okay, this is another one. All right, let's try. Okay, are men and women the same? Okay. This is just a short, just to get us familiar.
No, hold on a minute. See, the 50-50 thing. You can get them on, okay? Because you're saying, yes, it is 50-50, but the 50 is different than the 50, right?
Correct. Yeah, right. Right, exactly.
But if he tries to say, I'm saying, well, he'll say it's like, well, I mean that like not everything should be split 50-50, leadership, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Then you have to say like, oh, okay, so you do think that there are people who say like breastfeeding should be 50-50, gestation should be 50-50?
Right.
No.
Right.
You
no,
don't think
yeah. You don't think anybody thinks that?
it's not possible.
Right.
So you mean that it should be a different split?
Yeah.
Not
Right.
50-50. You mean it should be 45-55 or 60-40 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if you would say, okay, yeah, it's 60-40, men 60, women 40. What would that even mean?
I don't know what that would mean. I think it's 100% in different ways. I don't know, like.
No, it's 50-50. It is 50-50.
Yeah, it's 50-50. But each side.
You want to have 200%.
No, I understand